Hello everyone and welcome to this Ask a Geographer session. My name is Professor John Anderson and I work in the School of Geography and Planning at Cardiff University, and I'm here to answer some questions that sixth form students have asked in relation to university itself and the study of geography there. So the first question, what jobs could you do with a geography degree? What a great question, and a really important question, because one of the reasons to go to university is just because you enjoy the subject that you wish to study. You want to experience a different type of life. You want to grow up and find out who you are and what sort of jobs you can do and what sort of alternatives are out there in the world. And what's great about a geography degree is that it's highly employable. Of all the league tables that are produced in relation to employability, geography in all its different dimensions is always in the top 4 employable jobs. You get a whole set of core transferable skills about how you engage with the world, how you understand the world's problems. And one of the key things in most graduate level jobs is the ability to articulate yourself, the ability to make an argument, the ability to evidence that argument clearly and precisely and to the point. And it's those sorts of skills, those sort of generic skills, allied with the specific skills of understanding the problems that we have out there in the world, are used for a whole range of job opportunities. So you name the job and effectively a geographer could do that job. There are, however, some specific skills that geographers also have that allow themselves into research jobs, into business, into banking jobs. Graduates go into a whole range of things through education, through environmental consultancy. They can work in the European Union. A whole range of opportunities are there with a geography degree. So if you don't quite know what it is that you're interested in doing, then geography, in whatever its form, is a really good generalist degree that allows you to keep your options open. There are, of course, variations on that, environmental geography, human geography, even variations on that like urban planning or urban design, which we do within the School of Geography and Planning in Cardiff University, that have particular accreditations associated with them to allow you to specialise for particular jobs. So if you want to be a chartered surveyor, if you want to be an urban planner, if you want to work in real estate, those sorts of things, then geography and planning are perfect degrees for that. What kinds of geography courses are there at university, and can you study solely human geography? Well, there are a whole raft of geography courses you can have. Generic geography courses that, just like at A-level, you have both physical geography and human geography, or you can specialise in one or the other. And in my experience, even those students who do a generic geography degree specialise after the first year. So they might do an introductory level of subjects, but then they know that they're more interested in physical geography or human geography. And that's because, particularly at university level, the sorts of questions that human geographers ask are very different to the sorts of questions that physical geographers ask. Physical geographers might be more interested in the sciences and more interested in meteorology or hydrology or glaciation, and ask a natural science question as to why earthquakes happen or why acid rain occurs or why climate change is happening. Human geographers, on the other hand, might still study issues of climate, but they will be more interested in why the policies have been created the way they have, what sort of outcomes have on the ground for particular social groups in relation to climate change or relation to earthquakes. So they will be asking more socially scientific questions. And the courses at university are tailored to ask those particular types of questions. So a whole range of different courses, and yes, you can study human geography just at university if you wish to, and that just happens to be one of the courses that I teach on at Cardiff University. So if you want a bit more information about that, you can just put in a Google search for Cardiff University Human Geography, or indeed click on the link that's on the page below. What is the split between content theory and, secondly, fieldwork and research in your geography degree? Well, let's do the second bit first, shall we? Most geography degrees are outward facing, face outwards to the world. They engage with the extraordinary relationships between people and place that make up the social, cultural, economic, environmental world in which we live. And so they're not all in their ivory tower, they are all outward facing. So you'll have to look at specific geography degrees to see what particular level of engagement with the world out there, but in general they're all out there. So the geography degree, which I contribute towards in Cardiff University, has field trips in every year, from the local in year 1 to the European second year to the global in the final year. And the vast majority of our modules all have some sort of explicit engagement with a particular case studies, particular contemporary examples, because what geography is there to do is engage with the problems that we're facing in the contemporary world. And to move on to the first question there about content and theory, what we find when we go to university level geography is that empirics, or the real world, are always go hand in hand with theory. So theory is like the range of approaches, methodology might be involved in it, but our way of particularly looking at the world. They're almost like our glasses that we put on, and suddenly we see the world differently. If we put on 3D glasses at a cinema, we'd have a different experience. If we were on a party, we put on great crazy cool glasses and kind of see the world differently. We put on our aviator shades and be really cool and just see the world slightly differently. And theory allows us to do that. It allows us to the messy complexity of the world out there. And there I'm pointing outwards to the world and my garden. We can engage with that almost chaotic complexity by using theory, by putting on particular glasses, and suddenly some issues leap out at us. We see some things as more important than other things. So economic geographers would say, well, actually, it's about the economy. It's about money. It's about capitalism. And they would argue that if you forefront those issues, you will be able to understand the world better. Myself, as a cultural geographer, would take a different view. They said, well, actually, yes, the economy is important, but actually the economy is under an umbrella of culture, and it's our different cultural approaches to the world that allows us to understand it better. So when you go to university, you will be taking not simply physical and or human geography, but under each of those things a particular theoretical approach: economic, political, social, environmental, and all those different lenses help you understand the world better and make your arguments better. Therefore, make your understanding of the world better, enable you to be a better citizen, and enable you to be a better employee in the future. What do you study in degree level geography? Well, I've touched a little bit upon that. A whole gamut of things. You can do physical and human. If we just focus on the human, anything from environmental, social, political, economic, cultural, sometimes even historical geography, the ways in which different places can be understood through those different theoretical lenses. You also have methods on top of that, so you can use different tools in order to gather data. This might be interviews or surveys. It might be GIS, geographical information systems, computer technology, to either analyse the initial form of data that you're getting or to create new forms of maps. You might even do fancy, amazing things like ethnography or autoethnography, or even use films and pictures to understand the world better. So it can be anything from quite scientific through to being quite creative. So you need to look at each particular course and find the one that really allows you to excel and do the stuff that you think would be exciting for you and allow yourself to maximize your own potential. What skills do you get from a geography degree? That's almost where we started. A whole range of critical analytical skills, the ability to understand the processes out there in the world and to know where you stand on them, and to defend the positions that you have in relation to them. Why do people think the way they do? How can they justify those decisions? You take any contemporary example, from coronavirus through to climate change, through to the culture wars that are happening, through issues of referenda or American elections or British elections, etc. You can the inequalities within the urban city, the Black Lives Matter movement, issues of gender, issues of sexuality. All those things are inherently spatial in nature. They are inherently geographical. And to understand how we are geographical beings, I think is a brilliant toolkit to have for the rest of your life, to be able to, in whichever world you want to transform and make better, be it just you and your family and your loved ones, through to a global scale, and you be the CEOs of multinational corporations or emperors of the world, because that's what you're going to be, right? Then understanding the world and its people, understanding what makes people tick, understanding the politics that mobilise us, the things that we care for and why we care for it, and be able to convince people that what you care about is meaningful to others. To me, they're the skills you get from a geography degree. It's not only a really brilliantly employable degree, but it will allow you to understand yourself better and make yourself into a better person. What would help your UCAS application for geography? Well, in a way, it kind of connects but what I've just said, if you like. Do the best you can at A level. Be clear about why you want to do geography, and be clear about you. I've not said that very well, but you have the opportunity to make a statement on your UCAS application. Get yourself across in that statement. Universities will look at your grades, often primarily, but a lot of universities, including my own, not put equal store by those statements. Be enthusiastic, be passionate, show examples. Universities want people in their classroom that are going to put up their hand and say something, to ask a question, to contribute, to contribute to that collaborative moment that is that lecture theatre, to make it exciting, to make it dangerous, to have jeopardy, to make that dialogue between the lecturer and the student and the other students memorable. So you can go back, yeah, I remember having that lecture about that. I remember going off and doing that reading. I remember having that seminar. And because it was really funny, because someone put on a stupid set of glasses in that lecture and it was memorable, it was different. Universities want people. They want you. But you, in your UCAS application, need to convey who you are. And you can do that through examples, through holidays you went on, or even what Saturday jobs you have. And just say, that made me think of these issues. It connects to geography in this way. This is why I want to study on this programme. That all helps make a convincing, interesting and engaging UCAS application, and indeed a student that a university would want on their programme. Okay, thanks.